Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome to the town of Colmar Manor. Thank you all for coming out, and those listeners on TV as well as our YouTube business. I would like a motion to call the meeting to order.
A motion to call the meeting to order.
It's a second.
I'll second the motion stated.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. This meeting is now in order. We'd like to first step up to a pledge of allegiance. We pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we'd like to take a moment of silence for those who serve our communities, our country, and those who are struggling in poor times. Okay, now I'd like to take a moment of silence for us to be grateful for the things that we don't think about every day, the things that are wonderful in our life, the breath that we have, the water that we drink, and everything else that makes you pleasant. Thank you. I hope that starts us off with a smile. Good afternoon. Okay, first order of business. We have a special speaker, which is, thank you so much, the Chief Bashor from the Prince George's County Fire Department. I'll let you know that we actually do have a wide audience that watches us on YouTube, so please come up to the mic and let us know what you can tell us, how we can do a better time in town, and how we can be better citizens.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. I appreciate the opportunity. It has been a while since I've been to speak to you, and I certainly do not duck any mayor or council, but understanding there's 27 of them, it is difficult to get to everybody. You have had a little bit of a rash of incidents in what I call the Bunker Hill area because that's the name of the station over there. So I'm going to refer to it as Bunker Hill area. Please take no offense to Colmar Manor, Mount Rainier, or any of the other towns. So in that area, in the month of June, there were 3 incidents that our fire investigators dealt with. Fortunately, only one of them remains as an undetermined fire right now. The first one that I'll talk about is the most recent was on June 19th on 41st Avenue. There was an arrest made with some juveniles that set materials on fire next to a vacant house. So that arrest has been effected by fire marshals, and those folks are off the street. On June 12th on Wallace Road, it was a residential fire. It's still an undetermined nature, not a significant fire, about $5,000 damage in total, but that one's still under investigation. No reason to believe there's anything other than an accident, but it's still under investigation. And on June 10th, there was a residential fire on 40th Place that was indeed ruled accidental, an overload of a TV and a power strip in a bedroom upstairs. So I think, a lot of times we see the fire trucks and we see the units out there, and folks rightfully are concerned, but I assure you there is not a plethora of nefarious fire activity going on in the area. The one incident where there was a set fire, that arrest has been made. There was another, bear with me just a second, make sure I get the right one. There was another multifamily, it's a little farther out, but on Chilham Road, still in the Bunker Hill area, multifamily fire from back on March 14th where an arrest was made. So that has also been closed. So our fire investigators work with the police, both county police and the municipal police, to make sure that they follow up on all the leads that go along with these things. And right now, there are no truly active incidents that have not been investigated, and we don't have an idea what's going on with them. So you're in pretty good shape with that. Countywide, I'm pleased to say that this year, our fire fatalities are down about 40% in total. The most significant statistic is that while we have had, it's 5 fire fatalities for the year, while we have had 5 fire fatalities, none of them have been in homes where there was not a working smoke alarm. That is a phenomenal statistic.
Wow.
They have been in, 2 of them have been in vehicles where a car caught fire one way or the other, whether it was an accident and a fire, or 2 of those have been in vehicles. 2 of them were smoking related, and then the other one is still under investigation. So that's a significant improvement from the past, and knock on
Yeah, that's right.
wood. Always necessary to knock on wood. To be at 6 months, 7 months into the year and have 0 structural fire fatalities and in ones where there was not a working smoke alarm is phenomenal. And that is a direct testament to each of the municipalities, number one, the fire departments and all of the residents of Prince George's County getting together and hearing our message. You know, that message that smoke alarms save lives, carbon monoxide detectors save lives. It takes about 2 seconds to check your smoke alarm, so I challenge each of you to go home tonight and check your smoke alarm as soon as you get home. Don't wait till the first of the month, although that's when we encourage you to do it. Do it tonight. If you need one, everybody should know, if you need an alarm and you're a Prince George's County resident, call 311 and we will come install one for you free of charge. So every resident should know that. We have a program called Adopt a Neighborhood program, where we have engaged local businesses to do just that, to adopt neighborhoods. And what that program does is we ask the businesses for donations, financial donations to our smoke alarm program. And then that business will adopt a specific neighborhood that they choose, and the fire department will go out and go door to door in that neighborhood until we're sure that every home has been touched. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have been protected, because frankly there are some folks who don't want us to come into their home. Sure. And we understand that. But we're going to try. So if there are businesses that are interested in donating to that program, they can contact the Community Advisory Council, Diana Fennell, or my office. We'll get it hooked up, make sure that that they get hooked up with the right folks so that we can figure out the details of it. It is a tax-deductible donation that will be made to, a tax-deductible donation that will be made to the Community Advisory Council, which is a 501c3. So they have that capacity, and then they go out and buy the smoke alarms and the carbon monoxide detectors. Awesome. So fairly good report, I think. You have had some activity that's had some concern, but there is not an active fire problem in the community. Both the volunteers and the paid firefighters over at the Bunker Hill Station, they're still going through a name change issue. We're working all those particulars out, but they are working together to make sure that you have fire protection 24/7. The volunteers we have a volunteer staffing utilization program. I believe once a month. Ed, do you know if it's?
Yeah, it's once a month.
Once a month, the volunteers are providing all of the service for either a 12 or a 24-hour period, and we send those paid firefighters to some other location to cut down on overtime. So we do that around the county in different places when the volunteers are able to cover for the full period. So it's a fairly good relationship working right now, and I'm not aware of any particular issues, but as they come up, we address them. So I'd entertain any questions or.
Sure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming out and speaking to us. You know, of course, we've got the benefit of having Diana Fennell live in our town, who helps us stay up to date on what needs to happen and what's going on with the fire department. So we appreciate you. Thank you. I did want to just mention the one thing I stay concerned with, and I know it's just only occasional, but it has to do with electricity and going around to a lot of people's houses. We do see a significant number of, or at least I do, they may be too, but a significant number of people using multiple plugs.
Power strips.
Power strips everywhere. Like, you know, our houses were not designed for what we now use in the form of electricity.
Right.
I remodeled my house about 25 years ago and had to go through a whole heavy up in order to accommodate all of the new things, and I know most of the houses haven't. And I just wanted to know if you guys had any idea or statistics or recommendations for people, because this is a growing, as our housing stock gets older and older, a growing problem.
Yeah, so we won't talk statistics because I don't have that in front of me, but we'll give you some tips. And the two most significant ones are that air conditioners, which is a significant issue right now. Electric air conditioners should be plugged directly into a wall. Air conditioners, refrigerators, those kinds of things should never be plugged into an extension cord. And I know people try to do it because they want to get it to just the right location, but that's a disaster. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay. Most extension cords are not rated to take the amperage that has to come out to supply that air conditioner or that refrigerator. They'll use a cord that's not rated right, and that's what ends up overheating, and we end up having a fire. The same thing happens with the power strips. They'll try to, there's only so much electric that comes out of that wall, out of that plug. And I see folks plug in that power strip and think, well, I got 6 times more electricity than I had in that one plug. Well, no, you don't. You got the same amount of electricity, same amount of amperage available out of that plug. And they'll plug in everything and anything into that power strip. And that is probably, and again, I don't have the statistics in front of me, but it is a significant cause of fires in the county, the power strips being overloaded. So we need to make sure that, if you're plugging things into the power strips, plugging in things like phone chargers and those types of things, those are safer. That's safe for the power strips. Never an air conditioner, never a refrigerator. Things that pull a lot of power need to go directly into a wall. I encourage the older homeowners, not older homeowners, older homes, owners of older homes, to call an electrician and have that home outfitted properly.
Right.
Because it is something, we see them put cords underneath of the rugs, again, an overheating problem, and not only will the rug overheat, the cord will overheat because the heat can't escape from it. Then they'll plug in 6 different things into it, trying to pull all the power out that doesn't exist in the outlet, and that'll overheat. So those are a couple of tips that I would give people is never plug the air conditioners, refrigerators, or things that draw a lot of power into a power strip or an extension cord, and watch what you're overloading those power strips with, because it doesn't provide you any more power than that one plug that you're plugged into provides.
Right. And I wonder, do you guys have any paperwork? I know on most electric devices they have like the UL whatever and a number or thing, like paperwork that we could put in our newsletter or something that explains to people what that means so they can do their, understand what the ratings mean.
We have our tip sheets over here. I'm not sure that the UL listing is in that. We'll figure out something. We'll go back to prevention office and make sure that they get something. But that UL listing is critical.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
And you need to be real careful, because you'll go to, I've seen a lot of folks do this. You'll go to a dollar store as an example. And people think, well, it's a dollar store, it's cheaper, it's all I can afford, I'm going to get it. 9 times out of 10, those are the power strips and those are the extension cords that are overheating. They may or may not say they're UL listed, and even though they look like it's a fat cord, or you end up, and go test this one day, you end up being able to, at the dollar store ones, a lot of times you can bend that, very easily bend it and see that it's very pliable.
Yes.
You go to say Lowe's or Home Depot, a hardware store, and try to do the same thing to a power strip there. It'll bend, but it's much stronger wire. It's a heavier gauge wire designed to take that power. A lot of times the ones at the dollar store are not. They look like it, but it's just got a lot of insulation in it.
And you see them burn on the end fairly quickly.
Absolutely. And again, that's about pulling too much power and not being designed to do what people are trying to use it for. So don't skimp on those things. Go to a reputable place, make sure it says UL listed. That's Underwriters Laboratory. That's the agency, or the agency that the United States uses. There is Europe and England use a different rating agency, and sometimes you'll see those here, but we can't vouch for the the dependency of those.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Does the county have programs for homeowners to call an electrician out? Because a lot of people don't have money. Electrician's money. And to have other outlets that, put in, like if you got a computer in one room and instead of a cord running to the air conditioner on that same line, it's going to blow out.
Yeah.
And it could cause a fire.
Yeah.
So are there programs that homeowners can call and have an electrician come out?
I don't know of I don't know of a particular program that I could point to and say this is the one place people could call. I do know that if our Christmas in April program is something that if people, it's not a fire department, it's a county or it's a national program, but the Christmas in April program is something that people that truly can't afford to get things done like that need to be done, they can call into that program, and a lot of times that program will take care of getting them hooked up to what they need to be. And it's not just about electric. They have heating and air conditioning folks on staff, plumbers, all those kinds of things, or people that they, not on staff, people that they use, vendors that they use to fix things. But I'm not aware of a specific program that I could point to and say, if you need an electrician, call this agency. You know, a lot of times you can deal with social services and they might be able to work some angles for you, but there's not one program I could point to other than Christmas in April.
Thank you.
Okay?
Anybody? Any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
And want to
Go ahead, introduce.
just you know, Diana Fennell and the staff, Damu McBride and Joe King from the Community Citizens Advisory Council office, and then the staff over here from the Bunker Hill Station, and Chief Cardello on duty as the duty chief tonight. Those folks are here, and of course Ed from
Yes, we know Ed.
Ed, the old guy. Is that what you said? but
Yes, indeed.
good.
That's
So
right.
yeah, I appreciate them coming out to support us, and appreciate you all inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
All
Thank
right.
you very much. Appreciate it. Y'all got to head out. All right. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it
Diana.
very much. All right, moving right along. Next, we have another special speaker from Green Initiatives, Tim Glenn.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you. Well, Madam Mayor, council members, thank you for having me here. My name is Tim Glenn. I'm with Viridian Energy. We are a company that provides green renewable electricity at an affordable price for folks. And I met Miss Jackson and Miss Epps out at the DC Green Festival last month. And they came to my booth. I told them what we did, and they said, well, this is something that you might want to talk with our city council about. So what we do is basically we offer electricity to homeowners at a cheaper rate than what you're paying your local utility companies. And our electricity is provided by green renewable sources, such as solar power, wind power, hydro, geothermal. And in this state, particularly in this region here, in the PEPCO region, the customers have a choice on where their electricity comes from. We're not in competition with PEPCO because PEPCO does not make money actually selling electricity. They make money delivering electricity, and we still need them to deliver our electricity. If any power outages happen, they're still responsible to fix the lines. We still provide the electricity. The customer still gets the same bill that they're receiving now from the local utility company. And how this can benefit you folks is we have a program for nonprofit organizations, any 5013C organizations. You can register with us. You can advertise to your community. If you want to save money on your electricity and use green renewable electricity, we can go to your website we give you, and then you folks get a renewable residual income off of it for as long as these people have electricity being supplied by us and delivered by PEPCO. We do this with electricity and natural gas. Now, and one of our biggest programs that we just started here in this state a couple months ago is solar. You can actually have solar panels put on your home. Does not cost the homeowner any money for that. What does cost the homeowner money is the electricity that these panels provide, and it's at a lower, cheaper rate than what you're paying the local utility companies for. So once again, we can put the panels on your roof. It doesn't cost you any money. You pay less money for your electricity in the long run. Or, if you wish, you can buy the panels outright, and then all of your electricity that the panels produce from then on is free of charge. And we take care of all maintenance and insurances on the system for 20 years. So it's a good program. Now again, this is how it benefits the town of Colmar, is you would receive monthly, every time somebody pays their electric bill, we share the profits. Actually, it's the vast majority of the profits get shared out to the community. Yeah, it's a pretty simple, straightforward program. And if you have any questions, please.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Glenn. I appreciate that. Just to ask a couple of questions, we've run across, I can't think of the names of it, but we've run across a couple of different companies that sort of offer some similar things. But I'm trying to understand, I guess I've still run across, because I've tried to change just in my own home to wind energy, in my bill skyrocketed as
Right.
opposed to going down. And I'm curious as to where the industry is right now with renewables, in the fact that I know usually things are high at first and
Yes.
then it takes some time for the prices
To come down.
So how are you guys managing that?
It's a very good
response?
question. It's a very good point. We have a program that's called a Freedom Program. It's a play on word for 3 years, and it's a freedom program. And we have a locked rate for you for 3 years. At the end of this 3 years, if you actually end up paying more money through us than you do your local utility company, we refund that money back to you, the difference, 110% refund. So we're basically saying you're going to pay less money with us, and you're going to have green renewable electricity. Because we are an environmental company. This is our bottom line. Using green renewable electricity is the single most biggest thing a homeowner can do to help the environment.
Right.
It's 25 times better than recycling, which everybody still needs to recycle. But this prevents coal from being burnt and put into our air. And that's the air we all breathe.
Absolutely, yes.
And that's what we need to change.
Okay, so it's what's called
Freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah, DOM, 3DOM. And I'll
Oh,
give you my
Freedom,
website. That you,
And so in the case where you own the solar panels.
yes, ma'am.
And how is the homeowner, what does the homeowner save less in that case than if they bought it themselves, then I guess?
Well, sometimes not, depending on the home. And it all depends on how the home sits toward the sun.
Right,
Not every home is qualified to put these panels on it,
right,
because you need full sunlight. If you have a lot of trees, that's not going to work. If your home, the roof is facing anywhere in the northern hemisphere, that's not going to work. The best place is anywhere from east, south, all the way to the west. That's where the south obviously gets the full sun. So any part of the roof that's facing south, that's where it works at. Now, to answer your question, some homes will generate more power than others. You could have a, say, 50% offset, which means is 50% of your electricity can come from the solar panels. 50% of your electricity still has to come from the local utility company. Or it could be 100% offset. All of your electricity could actually come from the solar panels.
And are you familiar with the weatherization program that Maryland has had for about, 4 years now? Where they actually, they do the free energy audits. Are you familiar with that at all?
I don't know what the name of it is, but I do know that they do the free energy audits. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I might want to suggest that you talk, I mean, if you haven't, with MEA, because a part of that program where they come in, they do the free energy audits in the household, and then they recommend service
Right.
providers to assist the residents in upgrading, and they also provide some funds in that case even, so it's a good thing for you to check
Well,
into.
other parts, other people in my organization, they're on
Oh,
top of
okay,
that part.
okay. Well,
I'm not
and-
familiar with it.
Okay,
We have
and I
people
just
that-
tell you here because I
Yeah.
think that we're up to, we've done like 70 homes in the neighborhood now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it attaches, it helps to attach them to, and I'm not sure how much renewable energy is going into these results. I know they do windows over, they upgrade doors.
Most of the
and
time,
things
they're
like-
using less electricity because of the efforts that they put into it.
Exactly. But I think,
Yeah.
you know, focusing on renewables is something that we really would like to push forward to. And I know Maryland, the state of, would probably move in that direction as well. So we're a friendly community in that
Yeah,
area.
that's good.
Your counterparts who work on that side want to sort of push that because we're trying to become a green district here in Colmar Manor, Cottage City, Edmondson, and Bladensburg, the 4 towns together. We want to be an official green district. And so doing things like this really makes a lot. So my question I'll ask you is, so you, if we get residents that are interested, we can contact your company and someone from your organization will go and sit with the homeowner and.
Yeah, I
go
will
through
do
the-
that personally.
Okay.
I'm working in this area.
Okay.
Because there's 3 different ways a homeowner can save money and also help the environment. One is the electricity they get from the utility company, and also too, natural gas. We do supply natural gas. Natural gas, there's nothing we could do about it to make it more environmentally friendly. But what we can do is 25% of our profits is mitigated toward green renewable programs.
I understand.
So,
Right.
and then with the solar, that's the big one.
Right.
And this is what kind of impact this has on the environment. A normal household in the state of Maryland burns about 960 kilowatts an hour. 960 kilowatt hours per month. Over a year's time, it takes approximately 5 tons of coal to be burnt to generate enough electricity for that house. So when we take one house, turn it totally green energy, that's 5 tons of coal not being burnt and put into our atmosphere. That's a huge effect. And then when you collectively look at your whole community and say, I think you have 300 some homes just here, right? You know, half of them would do that. That's a lot of CO2 not going into the atmosphere.
Okay, that sounds good.
That's what our bottom line goal is.
All right. So, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions?
No, just want to thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Like
you for
the-
inviting me.
Oh, absolutely. Like the mayor stated, that we may not have a lot of residents here in the audience. However, they do watch us on
They do
TV,
watch us on the-
and we also on YouTube. So I really appreciate you coming out.
And we
So
put it out
if-
in our newsletter also.
You want to give them your phone number while you're standing there?
Oh, yes. I'll give everybody a card too that's here. But my, if you want to do this, you can go to Veridian.com. Now, the Veridian is VIRIDIAN.com. MD Save Money. That's in Maryland Save Money. So it's Veridian.com/MD Save Money. If you want to go in and register to do this, it takes you less than 5 minutes. The only thing that you need is your utility bill, because it's going to have your account number on there, and it's going to ask you for your name and address and phone number, and everybody knows that off the top of their head. They do have to look up their 10-digit account number.
I do have
Now,
another-
the best thing
Oh,
for
go
this
ahead. I'm sorry.
is for us to register at the town of Colmar, and then they get to participate in the profits on this. You get paid every month for every.
Well, if you can leave us that information as well, and then maybe we'll we don't have another work session until September, but that might be a time frame for us to just have a conversation, a work session about that level of it. But about that, I did want to ask, because I did notice that you said 501c3, and as a town, we're not a 501c3. We are a not-for-profit.
A non-for-profit. That's,
So I
that
don't
works
know.
too.
Right.
That works too, yes, sir.
Okay, so that's what I
Yes,
wanted to double check, whether there was a distinction between that and otherwise. And the other thing that I want to ask you about, you might not know off the top of your head, but perhaps before we meet again, you might look into, we have a lot of renter-occupied homes.
Yes.
And I just would like to later, not right now, unless it's a quick answer, but better understand if you've learned or created a methodology of dealing with the cost savings where associated, really the renter is paying the electric bill.
Yes.
But the homeowner is really reaping the benefit.
Well, here's-
responsible, it's sort of a.
This is how this works. For the electricity and the natural gas, it's pretty simple. Whoever is on the whose name is on the electrical bill or the gas bill. They can register, whether they're the owners or the renters. When it comes to the solar program, it has to be the owner
That's what I thought.
of the home,
Right.
obviously, because
Yes.
it's their home that we're
Right.
going to put the panels on.
Okay.
So the homeowner has to sign up for it, and they also have to be on the utility bill too. That has to be one and the same for the solar side.
So the homeowner, and if they have a renter, would have to create a relationship between their renter and that electricity, and that's not your thing, that's them.
That's them,
I
yes.
got you.
Yep.
All right.
So
Okay.
whose ever name is on the bill, they're the ones that have to,
Accommodate that.
yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, folks, and I'll stick around and I'll give you some other information after the meeting's over too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, definitely.
Thank you out there.
Appreciate it. Yeah, those are people. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the mayor's report. I would like to say, I want to thank everybody who has, last month I told everybody I wasn't feeling well. My eczema on my skin. It's been, this time of the year is a allergy time for me, and it sort of just really hits me hard. And I'm getting better, and I thank everybody who's sort of called, said something, thought about me. I really appreciate it a lot. We did go to Maryland Municipal League a couple weeks ago, and it was a good trip. The theme was civility, which I think was an excellent theme to talk about how we learn to agree to disagree and work together. And the speakers were wonderful in speaking about those things. I actually can't remember their names, but there were two pretty famous reporters. One is a Democrat and one is a very strong Republican. And the one thing I would want to say, and I want everybody to hear this because it was just awesome at the end of the program, one of them had had a lot of hardship, the Democrat, in his life, a lot of hardship, lost his wife, lost some family members. He was very sick. He was an alcoholic. He pretty much his whole life was falling apart after being a very famous reporter over the years. And he was basically on his dead end, last leg, and he said that for all of the people in his Democratic life, they were not the ones that came out that supported him. It was this Republican friend who they fought hard and studied all those years, who was truly a gut friend, who stood beside him, helped stood him up, helped bring him back out again. Ed Rollins, thank you. Rollins, thank you so much. And it really told you that, it touched you that it doesn't matter in this world if I like what you say or I don't like what you say, I love you anyway. And it's so possible and it's so capable. And if we can learn to know that that is the level where love transcends, we can go on and we cannot like what each other says and it's okay. So over the top by that. The other thing I want to say that was real significant to me, one of the course programs that I went into was about community policing. And I actually felt very good about the point because I had just met with the chief a week before we left for Ocean City. And we had a lengthy conversation specifically about that, is community policing. And I know the chief is working on our next scheduling of our police quarter to work out some operating procedures where our officers will be meeting and greeting residents on a regular basis, knocking on doors, saying hello, and getting to know everybody a whole lot better. I felt really good. Almost everything we talked about, Chief, was the things that they said in this meeting. And they also talked about even bringing sometimes a crew of people like the fire department or other social groups with you sometimes to just go to people and see if they have needs. Because in our policing in a small town like this, what makes the difference is that our police are serving us, the people in the community, and making sure those who might come in the community know that our police know who we are, and they're close to us. And this is my philosophy, and this is the philosophy of the council. And so we've really been talking to the chief about really working that out, and so that fit right in, and I wanted to bring that forward as well. I don't. Let me see if this is on here, because I'm going to mention this right now. I'm going to get this report right now instead of later, but it's about the Bates trash. It's down at the end of the agenda, but I'm just going to do it now since I'm doing this report, because we met with the owner of Bates Trash. I am personally, and we're 6 months in since we've changed the trash system, and I'm personally not happy with the results. I'm not going to say that the results I'm happy with is because we've gone to 1 day a week, because I'm not certain of that, because I believe our service has been very much dilapidating. And we had a very good conversation. Councilmember Epps was able to join me with that conversation, and you can speak to whatever your thoughts were as well when you give your report. But they were very forthcoming in listening to what we had to say. We spoke very clearly about closing the trash cans, about timely pickups, about missing streets, I just want to let you guys know we have heard you. We've heard the problems that you've had. We are looking at options for those of you who need an extra trash can, because if your trash can can't close, that's not good for any of us. So if you feel that you're in that position, we want to know it, because we want this to work for everybody. And open trash cans are not helpful for the feral cat program that we have, a problem that we have. And so we want this to work. If you have a problem with how your trash is being dealt with or managed, feel absolutely free to call this office and make your report. Call the town hall. We will be communicating with Bates we'll be having monthly meetings with Bates to talk about what we're finding and what the results are. We don't want to be a blind eye council, but we need you to tell us. I try to drive around town on trash day on every street to just see what I observe, but I can't observe everything. So I need to know what you guys feel and think. People have to walk to a bus stop and it smells bad. I mean, I'm just gonna admit, I know there's a problem, I see it. I don't want to pretend, I'm right here. So we want to know, and we want to resolve every single thing that happens. So please let us know. You hold me to my gun. We'll fix it. It's broken. So I thank you, and I do want to let you know that that was also a very important meeting that we had this month, over the last month. And so other than that, I think I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to the council members. Thank you. Oh, you want to, okay. I want to also say that Councilmember Bowden was unable to join us for a personal matter, and is there a motion to excuse her?
Mm-hmm. I'll make that motion stated.
Second? I'll second. Any discussion? Call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2 is absent. Ward 3? Aye. Ward 4? Aye. Mayor votes aye. Ms. Bowden is officially absent. Okay, Ward 1?
Oh, yes.
Report.
Thank you. I want to say Saturday I attended the Health and Wellness Center grand opening, and I won a door prize. And not only the door prize, Dr. Betty was there herself and gave you much love and talked to you about your blood pressure, are you a diabetic, and healthy eating. And there was different tables there showing you different things about healthy eating and active, living and exercises. And I went in and had my blood pressure taken. It was a little bit high, but that come from the crabs. I had some crabs, before that, and that does bring it up a little bit. And plus I was rushing getting there, and it was hot outside, so all those things and above, but my blood pressure was okay. But It was nice. The staff was nice, and she had a nice little band there and DJ and everything. It was much love, and I want the community to outreach and use the facilities that's there for them. There's many things there for them, and I want them even down to the children and HIV testing and smoking, and there's just a lot of things there. So just stop by and visit it. Also, I want to say, as Mayor was saying, how important it is to think about someone other than yourself and do something special for someone else. And we had a neighbor in my ward that's been sick, and she's down low. She didn't want no one to know her business, which people, don't. But the neighbors just come together and did what she needed done. And she's feeling a lot better, and she's back to work, and she says thank you to, the ones that outreached and helped her. And that's what neighbors do for each other. We can't pay their bills, but we can help them in other ways. I want to say get well to the sick ones that are sick in the community, and happy birthday to the birthday people in the community. And someone asked me about the mosquito control, and in your newsletter that came out, it does say on a Tuesday evening beginning of June through September, the mosquito control will be visiting our town. Don't forget to drive a little slower in the daytime. There's a lot of kids out playing, riding bikes in the evening too. And we do have our Maryland National Capital Park and Planning program with the kids up here Monday through Friday, ages 6 to 12, and from 9 to 3, summer playground. And I don't want to keep going on. With recreation for Miss Cynthia, they do have open gym now. The open gym is open to 9 o'clock in the evenings. That's on Monday and Thursdays and Friday. Also, we have the exercise program here, the volleyball, and other activities. For Colmar Manor residents, it's free. For the Port Town residents, $1, and other people it's $2, and the gym ID is $3 to get that. And I want to say thank you. That's it. Mayor.
Oh, yes,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Blue. Councilmember Jackson? Mayor Pro Tem
Yes.
Jackson.
I also attended the health center, myself and the chief. We got a tour. We got to speak to Dr. Betty. They were doing exercise and Zumba out there. I did try to get my blood pressure checked, but I guess they was a little bit too busy at that time. But it was a wonderful turnout. They really wanted more community people to come out. They're there Monday through Fridays from 9 to 4. It's free. Come in. You have any concerns? They're there. Also, we had a great turnout for our garage sale. I stepped in and helped Councilmember Epps this Saturday. Want to thank the residents in our town that came up and set up tables. However, they did tell me it was a little slow. I'm not sure because people was on vacation, but the energy that they have just being there was just so positive. And I just want to thank those ladies, and I really enjoyed talking to you that time. Mayor, I really didn't have a report, but I want a pity pat off of you when you said that you spoke to Bates Truck, the Bates manager. I did see a difference this morning. I walked to the bus stop. I looked out my window. I did see them this is on my street, and on my way going, I did see every trash had the lid put on properly. So I was really impressed with that. So I did see a change.
That's good.
So
That's good to
yeah,
hear. Thank you.
That's it. And also, I just want to say, residents, it's summertime, and if you're having a party,
yes.
please just inform your neighbors. I mean, I love to have my family over too, but inform your neighbors, inform the chief. So, of course, we have somebody on duty just in case, but just inform your neighbors, invite them over. We are definitely trying to be a friendly town. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening,
Councilmember
everyone.
Epps.
I'd like to congratulate Councilman Jackson and myself. September 13th, we will be graduating at Maryland University. So we'll finish our classes at MML. Talking about Mr. Bates, that was a very interesting conversation. He was very receptive to what we were saying. I was very positive meeting. I was impressed with how he was reacting, because one of the things whatever we talked about, he was like shocked or not sure, wasn't even in the loop of what was going on. But he is very positive that there will be a change, and Councilman Jackson witnessed that this morning. And another thing is placing the trash can in the proper place and still in the driveway. If you have any complaints about the trash, please contact the council, contact the mayor, contact the town hall, because if you don't tell us, we don't know, to make the complaints, because we know now that we can CC him in on the emails and the complaints that we get. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Councilmember Epps. Yeah, I will mention that he did indicate he was very happy that we actually called him in and spoke to him, and we had some challenges getting the meeting. But there was a lot of stuff he just didn't know, even things that we were calling. So this was helping him look at his systems and make some changes to his systems. So he was very pleased to get that report. And I want to just make sure that everybody understands what Councilmember Epps was talking about. The Academy of Excellence in Government is a program that's run by Maryland University and Maryland Municipal League, which actually challenges municipal elected officials to take a certain number of core classes and then elected classes. They're short courses of a couple of hours apiece that go along, but it takes you a couple of years to get through these programs. And they have managed to get through all their coursework and will actually be graduating this fall. So I want to congratulate you again, because it really is, it's an important thing to do, to be very good, elected officials. You're going to be elected. I also want to mention, I don't know if somebody said it already, but social services is back in the building down there where the Port Towns Health and Wellness Center is, and they're on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 to 5, I think it is. Yes. And also, I failed to mention that I attended the Port Towns Farmers Market opened this Saturday. Yes. They'll be open every Saturday from 1 to 5 o'clock, and that they are at the in front of Roger Heights Elementary School in Bladensburg. Roger Heights Elementary, 10 to 1 on Saturdays. So please go out. The farmers will only continue to come if they get people to come. And then another note, this is something I haven't fully verified yet, but I want to put this on the record and want people to start looking at it. I have heard that they are changing Roger Heights to a walking school. I don't have a lot of information, but since I've just heard that that's happening, I want to put it on the record now so everybody who possibly can starts to call their school system and find out what's going on. I really don't personally feel like it's realistic for our kids to walk to Roger Heights Elementary at all. So we'll be verifying that information this week and find out whether it's that absolute true, and we'll probably get a letter out specifically about it since it's so late in the summer already, and this is something that needs to be dealt with, and we have not been informed. I haven't received anything as a mayor. We haven't received anything in town, and I don't know any residents that have received anything, and this is the school that our kids go to. So I'm not sure what's going on, and we need to find out. But I talked to Mayor Gant this weekend, and we're both going to be on it because Edmonston goes to Roger Heights as well, and that they can't walk there either. So I'll put that on the record. Want to note that we were recognized at Maryland Municipal League. Second year is a Hill City. We're Bronze Hill City, which means that we put efforts in place for healthy eating and active living in the town records. And we also got our third year as a banner, fourth year as a banner. Fourth year as a banner city, and a banner city means that we outreach to the community and go talk to the kids and talk about municipal government. So we also received that award as well. All right, thank you all so much for your reports. We don't have a report on a work session. We didn't have a work session last week, so we'll get up to the treasurer's report. Mr. Baton is out, and so John Barr, our town attorney, will give our treasury report. Mr. Barr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, members of the council, the treasurer's report in your folder for June 30th, 2015 reflects to a great degree
The year end.
the performance of the town. Can you hear me now? All right. The treasurer's report reflects to a great degree the town's adherence to its budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2015. If you'll look on your second page of that report, which describes the town's revenue for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2015, and unverified or amended, the town received $1,488,662.28. Now, if I could refer you to the penultimate page, the ultimate page of the report, prepared by Mr. Baden, which is a summary of expenditures. For the month of June, the town collected expended $55,194.16 for the activities of general government. For streets and sanitation, the town expended $20,396.97. For recreation, the town expended $2,609.28. For public safety, the town expended $41,825.92. No unappropriated funds were expended in the month of June. This brings us to a year-to-date for all those categories of $1,492,436.87, an almost equal amount to the amount of revenue that was displayed in the budget. I'll also direct your attention to the second part of that last page in your report, which talks about the cash account summary. The town has in its SunTrust checking account $262,466.06. In its payroll account, also with SunTrust, $37,679.54, and in the Maryland local government investment pool, $413,201.68. That would conclude the treasurer's report. I can try to answer any questions you may have, but I would ask that you approve the report as submitted.
I just want to make a note. Well, I'll do it after we do a second on this. I will say that this is close to what is going to be our final treasury report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2015. And I want to make a personal congratulations to the Mayor and Council that we within revenues and expenses, we're at 97% of 100%, which means that we fully have followed our budget.
Yeah.
We may have had to move some things around here and there, but we did it. All right? Okay, so is there do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Second?
I second.
Discussion? I do want to just make a note for the record and ask for an amendment to say that I still feel that there's a discrepancy in the taxes as it relates, we mentioned last month, there's a difference where salaries are not down, but taxes are, and they should match. And it's not significant, it's a small amount, but they should actually, if one's up, the other one should be up. If one's down, the other one should be down.
Where are you referring to?
I'm just looking at, if you look at salaries,
You're on
What is it, 50 what?
Is that
It's,
5090?
okay, so like if you look at general, 5120,
In general government.
right? And then you look at the payroll taxes, which is 5090. So it looks like we spent less in that, and FICA is a fixed rate, so it looks like we spent less in a FICA for 5090, but we're not spending less in salaries. So that just doesn't.
Could it be that there was a FICA change as of the first of the year?
No.
Some mid-year correction? I can't help you,
I
Madam.
know. I mean, and he acknowledged it last month because we saw it last month and mentioned it as well. It's just that salary, FICA is 7.65% of salaries. So if we go over in salaries, then we're going to go over in FICA. If we go down in salaries, we're going to go down in FICA. It doesn't make sense. One's up and one's down. It just it doesn't just compute. So that I just want to. So if we can accept the report with that that review of the salary and the FICA. Do you accept that
So I
amendment?
amended.
Is it a second accept that?
Yes, second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2? Absent. Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, police report. Chief Gibson?
All right, Mayor. For the month of June, we had 2 residential burglaries in the town in which both cases, suspect was identified and arrested in both cases. We did have a second-degree assault as well at the Shoppers Food Warehouse. That case is still under investigation. There's no arrest, no suspect developed in that case as of yet. Also, we had a first-degree assault in the 4300 block of Newton Street, in which we did get the suspect. We arrested him on June the 30th in that case reference. So out of the 4 major crimes we had in the town, we got 3 arrests out of 4 of them. For the total month, I just want to note there is page 3 that is missing from my report for some reason. I must apologize for that, but I did write down the stats. Our stats for the month of June, we had 62 calls of service. We had 8 reports written, and we had 2 adult arrests. One was for one of the suspects in the burglaries. One was arrested by the county in the other case, and we had 1 emergency petition or evaluation as well. And then for the month, we had 1 vehicle impound. And I do want to chime on what Ms. Jackson said earlier about noise ordinance. I know there's parties, we're getting to that time of year, there's a lot of people having graduation parties, family, reunions, stuff like that in town. Please let your neighbors know on your block that you're having a party, so that way they'd be forewarned that maybe it's a little bit of noise past the 9 p.m. ordinance, which the county ordinance says you're not supposed to have excessive noise after 9 o'clock, but also let me know as well as the police chief. That way I can probably put an email out letting people know, or give it to the respective council member in the ward, hey, there's a party, and also let my officers know as well. We did have a party this weekend in which I did get a couple complaints today. Nobody apparently called 911, but I did get some complaints about the noise, and I told them, I said, the noise is bothering you. We are trying, the ordinance for the county, if people don't want to know, you're not to have excessive noise after 9 p.m., which in some cases, that's probably a little too early. Most people 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock most of the time, but when it's excessive, be mindful to your neighbors, be respectful. Please, at around 11 o'clock, I would ask most people, if you got music, make sure it's down to an acceptable level where it's not disturbing your neighbors. And, also, like I said, you gotta let your neighbors know what's going on, okay? And just also with the noise ordinance, we've only written 1 citation since I've been here, but it is pretty steep. If you do get charged with a noise ordinance infraction, or if you're like a repeat offender, we had 1 residence that had quite a few parties, it is a $250 fine for the first offense. And the second offense is $500, it is. So it's a pretty steep offense. So all I do suggest is just try to keep the noise down and let me know about the parties. That way I can let people know on my email tree the upcoming party. But other than that, for the month, we're pretty quiet. Mayor, that's my report.
Okay, thank you so much, Chief.
Mayor, can I
Oh, yes, certainly.
Chief, whenever you ought to consider having the neighborhood watch meeting again.
Yeah.
I know people on vacation now, but could I ask, one of the residents asked, could we have it at the basketball the basketball court in Ward 4.
Okay.
That was one of the things, so I think that's something that when you do have it, the mayor and council and all of us can come out there. Maybe
Okay.
we can play basketball, I don't know, but just,
Yeah, even last month, there's nobody, the last couple months, I haven't had anybody show up for the month before. I think
that's why I
this is,
said maybe it will start up in September.
I think April was the
because
last time
people-
I worked one in April, and then I had one gentleman show up, and it was just really a code enforcement issue, that's the thing. And if we're trying to work that out a little bit different too, Rick's supposed to have something again probably eventually soon here, so I'm trying to let him go with his meeting to meet the people, or if he have issues with code enforcement, that way he can have a separate little meeting, that way he's dealing, like I do with the police stuff, he can deal with the code enforcement, because unfortunately, a lot of my meetings, and I know some of you guys have been there before, sometimes I think it turns out to be more code enforcement issues than police-related matters.
Yes,
So I figured this way, Rick is doing what he's doing, and in last class, he was doing a little education about keep cleaning up after your pets and different things. So I told him to keep doing that, 'cause I think that's a good thing, because some people don't know what the ordinance is, or our ordinance online is 91 pages. So some people probably don't want to go through it and look through 91 pages of stuff looking for, reading the ordinances. So that way we try to educate our people.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea for our code enforcement, to have something at least monthly or quarterly.
Quarterly, yeah,
And
and
then
that's
we
what.
can
At least
videotape
quarterly.
it. Yes, quarterly.
And we can
It's
tape
great.
it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
I-
the green team.
And I do want to suggest, I do still got, I know the neighborhood watch meetings haven't been attended very well, but at this point, I do have about 130 people on my email tree. So I do get calls all the time. I had one this weekend about a issue, somebody was probably doing some illegal construction. So of course I forwarded that to Rick to have, when he came in Monday or whatever, he can follow up with it. So I do get emails anywhere 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning of various issues in town,
Yes.
all day long, 24/7. So I'm glad that the people are watching out for us, because they understand the police, we're not here all the time, or the code enforcement officer. I get plenty of emails all the time. So I'm glad that people are looking out and giving me that information that we can follow up on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief. Anybody else, any other questions for the Chief? I do want to mention that in my conversation with the Chief, we also talked about the Chief is going to start to limit his reports on his email tree to community safety and service, as well as the code enforcement and so forth and so on. And so in a little while, he's going to put out a request to everybody on that list to know whether or not they want to be limited to that, or if they want to continue to get community news. Because the Chief has been sending out a whole bunch of community news as well. I had several people that say, you know what, I only got on that list because I wanted the Chief stuff. I didn't really want all this other stuff. So we're going to maintain sending out information to the people on his list from in the office, and he's going to have his list to those people who have said, all I want is police and public safety information, so that that's streamlined. So I want to make sure everybody, people who have said that to me, and I've had many people said to me that we're working on that as well, and I thank you, Chief, for.
Yeah, and we did actually, that email went out a couple of weeks ago, and I gave everybody until June 30th. I did give the list of what I got, because I did have some people that said they didn't want to be on the town email tree.
Yes.
So I've sent an updated list to Kayla. I just got to get with them, because unfortunately, for some reason, they can't open it up on their thing, my list, so.
You
now
got to
we're-
take
we're
off
probably,
the
yes,
ones,
we're-
you got to take off the ones, the people who
Yeah,
don't want to be
yeah.
on a
Yeah,
big
we're gonna have
list.
to probably do a
Because a lot of
manual
people
change.
don't want to hear everything,
Yeah.
so, but the public safety is important.
Yeah, and that's why I'll continue to. I did send that email out, and I gave people until June 30th, so I had a lot of responses from that. So
Okay.
that way, that list has been updated, and I have given it to Kayla and Judy.
Okay.
So I just got to help with them. There's some technical issues.
Can you tell
with
me
that.
how many we got to keep?
103 out of the 130.
Okay, awesome. All right, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's see, where are we at now? Police report, no unfinished business. So new business, you want to give us an update on National Night Out, Chief?
Yeah, on National Night Out so far, Miss Arlene Spann and Mary Sims have been on that committee. As far as I know, from the update from them, everything is pretty much organized. We just put the flyer on Facebook. On all the Facebook pages for the town, you'll see a joint flyer of the Port Towns National Night Out. We've gotten that out. So they're pretty much on the downhill phase right now, getting their last minute preparations and stuff, but other than that, is moving along pretty good. Okay. So I would hope that National Night Out would be great this year, with the 4 of us joining together. So hopefully it should be a really good turnout.
Yeah, and
We have a lot of a lot of people coming out, stuff like that, the vendors, or the people that give information, the health department, stuff like that. So it's kind of unique, because each town had a little bit of, everybody did a little something different, so we have a little bit mixed this year, so it should be pretty nice.
Can I ask, since National Night Out's going to be at the Waterfront Park instead of Burger King, I don't know if anybody thought about it, but is there a way that we can ask Burger King if we can put flyers on the Burger King to let people know that it's, because a lot of people are just going to come to the Burger King.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
Yeah,
what
no,
they
I
used
haven't
to
thought
do
about
it.
that. It's something we might have to take and address.
Yeah.
And let them know, yes, because I know a lot of people think it is at the Burger King.
I
so
know, they're
this is
just used to it, and
Yeah.
so people will know to go to the Waterfront Park. Something like that?
On that item, may I suggest that immediately to the rear of the Burger King is the town's
Bulletin board?
And perhaps we ought to put a notice on the bulletin board, or erect a small sign there, or a large sign.
Something that's colorful, though, that people can
Colorful
actually
and
see.
says,
Go to the Waterfront Park.
go to the waterfront, exactly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Barr. And I do want to remind everybody that, National Night Out is an opportunity to meet your police officers, to get information about public safety and ways that, it's not just about crime, it's about driving, how, accidents and drinking and driving and all of these things that drugs and the impact on our lives and all of these kind of things, and it's a real great opportunity. So, and it's fun. There's always a lot of good fun stuff going on, and a real good time for our police to interact with the community. So please come out to National Night Out. It's going to be at the Bladensburg Waterfront Park, which is right across the pedestrian bridge from Ward 4.
And actually, yeah, just to remind that August the 4th, and the time is going to be from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., which is a little bit earlier than the years past. We usually have our event at 6 o'clock, but this was because we're doing a joint effort, so to give time for vendors to set up, 'cause it's going to be a little bit bigger event. And of course, just like Port Towns, they get the traffic and the buses, they're going to have to be running from the town, or buses running as well that day, because each town hall and each respective port towns will be the pickup location for people that need a bus ride to the event.
So with the buses, are they going to be coming continuous?
Yeah, like about every 15, yes, they'll
About
be
every
coming,
15
yes.
minutes. Okay,
They'll
so
be
you-
rotating
Port
between
Town
the,
Day.
Okay, just like Port Town. So if you need a ride to the Waterfront Park, you can be picked up here. The buses will be rotating and coming through and picking everybody up from the town halls.
Yep,
What
and
time is the first pickup?
I think I can't remember the time, I'm not on that. I know it starts at 4 o'clock, so it'll probably be before that. They do have it on the flyer too, that's online on Facebook. And actually on the second page of the flyer, it does have the locations and the address, and I think it might have the times on there.
And that's in the newsletter.
Yeah, the
It's in the
newsletter,
newsletter as well.
as far as I know, I think it got into the newsletter. But it is on all the Facebook pages of the town, so all 4 port towns.
Okay, for Port Towns. Any other questions?
Oh, that was my question, about the transportation for our seniors. Like the chief said, you can catch the bus or you can walk with me and Councilmember Epps.
Yes, we will yeah, I'll be walking too, so. For sure. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, the next thing is our Community Legacy Grant FY 2016. This is a letter of support. Now, normally we would have spoken about this in the newsletter at the work session last week, but I think most of you guys are familiar with it. The Community Legacy Grant is, in fact, for the potbelly? Mm-hmm. Potbelly trash cans that Councilmember Epps has been working on over the last year in us acquiring, and these trash cans, which are solar run, or Big Belly, solar-powered, compactable cans, trash cans with sections for recycling as well as regular trash that's compacted. Will save us a lot of money, and they're just wonderful, awesome cans. Maryland has already created has actually purchased these cans for, I think it's Tacoma Park, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
Tacoma Park has.
yes, and through a grant program. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, that means that there is a what's the word? There's been a situation
And I think
already. where it's-
Gaithersburg has it
There's a
too.
memorandum of understanding with regard to the grants for the community legacy. And in that regard, it is a consortium of municipal governments which are going to be under the aegis of the
Microphone.
Oh, you're not talking in the mic.
I'm sorry. I like to turn this thing off when I'm not talking. There is going to be, or is proposed, a collaborative application for this and other grants for
It's
Oh,
Colmar,
to
it's
get-
going to be Colmar Manor Colmar Manor, Bladensburg, Edmonston, and Mount Rainier, who are actually going in together for the actual grants, $350,000 that we're asking for. So that's the support letter right there.
this is the support letter, and surprise, there's a signature on it.
Yeah. Well, we already have talked about this several times for our support for the community legacy.
But we haven't sent it out.
No, but we're voting on it now for that support. Can I ask for a motion to support this grant application?
I motion to support the grant application.
Ward second?
I do. Ward 1.
Ward 1 second, okay. Any discussion?
No.
You have something?
No.
Oh, call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2, absent. Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. Okay, now in addition to that, I think we have a resolution in
We have a
relationship to
resolution
it.
in support of that. And under the Sustainable Communities Legacy Grant applications, and that is in your packets tonight, and that is resolution number R2, 2015.
And the resolution is in the exact same format that it's always been in every year in the past. So it simply has the amount, I believe it's the amounts in it, is the 300.
$65,000.
This is the letter of support. So is there a motion for us to sign off on the resolution for the Community Legacy Grant? Is that Community Legacy? No, this one is the, Mr. This is for the,
This is a
oh
community
yeah.
legacy
Community
grant.
Legacy, yes, absolutely.
Weatherization.
There's two different ones. This
No,
one
I
is
got it.
Resolution R-2,
2.
2015.
I'll make that motion to pass resolution R-2, 215.
In a second.
I'll second that motion.
And any discussion? Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2? Absent.
Absent.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Okay. This one is, okay, so this one is for the organization.
Yes, I know.
That's the one we were talking about before.
Yes. Come with me first. Pass this down. Would each member of the council present sign on the line?
It's for community
above their
legacy.
signature. Pass it down. Madam Mayor, under the same agenda matter, there is also a memorandum of understanding between Town of Colmar Manor and the Town of Bladensburg with regard to a joint grant for weatherization. And this is sent to us by the Town of Bladensburg. I have reviewed it. It is acceptable, I believe, for the town, should the town wish to adopt it, for the purposes therein contained. And I would urge the council to approve the mayor's signature.
Okay, is there a motion for the sending in the weatherization grant?
To approve the mayor's signature on the letter of support.
Now, this one is the weather, this is actually the weather memorandum of understanding for the weatherization program that we've been in for the last
Okay,
3
okay,
years
Right.
with Bladensburg.
Okay, I'll make that motion as stated.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, any discussion?
John. This one.
Who's got that?
Okay, Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2? Absent? Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
And mayor votes aye. This is a single signature with just the mayor's,
Only.
myself and
I will
Mayor,
witness it, Madam
Mayor
Mayor, so
James
give it to me.
Bladensburg. So.
Thank you.
All right, good to take care. Thank you so much, Mr. Barr. Let's do that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, now,
Bates trash,
You did that,
talked
didn't you?
about out-of-state park.
MOU Town of Bladensburg, all these are the same things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's
We're down
good
to
together.
Bates
Yep, so we're down
recycling.
Bates Recycling. I've already had that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The next item is the out-of-state tags. We had a lengthy discussion a couple of months ago about commercial vehicles. And we went through the process of making some alterations to the community, commercial vehicles in towns and what a commercial vehicle means. We had light conversation about rights of people to have out-of-state tags in town when they live in town. And we know that there are some regulations within Prince George's County around some rules. And we also have, particularly about students who may be in town for the summer, but their tags represent the school that they are attending. There may be times when you have visitors who are visiting for a couple of weeks. So I want to acknowledge this issue because I've been hearing about it from several people, and I want to let everybody know that in our work session in September, we will be discussing how we might legislate this matter in terms of a formal methodology. So if you have a student in town, you have to inform the town. You have a student who has out-of-state tags. If you're driving home a vehicle that belongs to your employer, you're going to have to inform the town of that matter so that there's something on record for our police to know and be able to respond to residents when they see people with out-of-state tags. So at this meeting, unless I have some objections from the council, I would like to ask Mr. Barr to start looking into some language to assist us in the matter of formally documenting people who have out-of-state tags so our police are able to acknowledge that properly, and then maybe, we may have some discussion on how we want those rules more discussed. Any problem?
Madam Mayor, I have no problem with that charge as long as I understand what it is. And from what you said, it's to handle out-of-state vehicles being driven by town residents, being registered with the town, with the idea being that if you do not register, your vehicle is subject to all the restrictions of the state and the county.
Yes. And I would go further to say not just out-of-state tags, but any tag that's not registered to the town of Colmar Manor costs us money when they're in this town. We get paid for every tag. When you register your tag, a part of that is the revenue that comes to the town. So if someone lives in New Carrollton and they move here and they continue to have a New Carrollton tag, that's costing revenue of this town. So just to go further, and when the police run across, that's not going to be easy to catch because you see Maryland tags. But if there is some other violation and the police observes that this person has a tag, it's not registered to Colmar Manor, and they have no reason on file why they are here without a Colmar Manor tag, they should be getting ticketed.
Well, in that regard, let me ask the chief a question. And let me also say that I have a certain problem with that. Let me ask the chief. Chief, vehicles that are registered in Colmar Manor, is it within your knowledge that they are registered to Colmar Manor, or does the MVA simply accept the postal address, which probably would be Brentwood, because it goes to the Brentwood post office? And how do we distinguish between the two?
Yeah, Mr. I'm sorry, Chief, but I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, in my experience with that, Mr. Barr, we do have, I've seen registration many times when I've seen officers write tickets and even if people live in town, some residents' address comes up as Colmar Manor on the registration, and some come up as Brentwood. So there is some,
Yeah.
so if you look at it now, as far as I know with the Maryland law says you have to register. If you have out-of-state plates, you move to, say if you move to Colmar Manor, you have 60 days to register your vehicle in the state of Maryland, unless you're in school full-time, a student in college, in the military, or you're on some type of temporary work visa, what the Maryland law says. Now, I want to correct myself with this, because me and the mayor discussed this before. As far as people that have vehicles that they bring from out of state, there's no exception to that
Right.
rule. They're supposed to have them registered. They're actually supposed to go to MVA and have it dually registered, so they would still have that Virginia vehicle registered in Virginia if it's a commercial or a business vehicle. Like if the
A
vehicle
business
is
vehicle.
used, they're bringing, like it's a take-home car, like a police car or even a plumbing van, whatever,
Right.
some type of commercial vehicle, they're bringing it to their house, or unmarked vehicle that's registered to a business. They're actually supposed to apply for dual registration in Maryland, so they're actually supposed to apply for registration.
Oh,
So
okay.
on the MVA website, there's two things. There's one called out-of-state permit, or they call it's a thing called, I'm trying to think of the name of it now. It's a permit for a non-residential permit, which means even if you're in college, the military, or you're on a temporary work visa, you're actually supposed to apply with the MVA for what they call a non-resident permit.
Yes.
And it's a sticker that goes on outside your
Yes.
vehicle. So this is something I'm learning. I've been talking to investigators with the MVA who, they have their own police investigators at MVA, if people are not familiar. They do come around eventually and snatch your tags, do different things. So I've been talking.
Maybe you and Mr. Barr can actually discuss what you
Yeah.
investigated already, and then we can put some language that's right in
Yeah.
our
Now,
ordinance. Because I know my daughter, and and I don't normally have this much, but we didn't have a work session this week, and I really didn't want this to
Yeah, I
wait
was gonna
much
say,
longer. Go ahead. You're
Maybe
gonna say?
something, maybe, because it's something we need to really go into in depth and discuss, or maybe something that we need to talk about at our next work session. I mean,
It
that's
is,
just something-
and that's the reason why I'm bringing it up now, because I want them to get together now, so that, instead of waiting until September
Right.
to ask them to do
Right.
it.
Oh,
So
just
that's why I'm
right.
bringing it up now,
Yeah.
is so that they can do some of this homework, so then when we get together in September, we have
Bring it
something
back.
to actually talk
Yeah.
about,
Okay.
some meat. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm asking.
And there's
So
some
you
stuff
guys
I'm
can-
learning, so the investigators are going to come out, they only have 5 for the whole state of Maryland. And their MVA at one time they used to come out and go to communities, they would go where out-of-state plates were at. MVA, these police officers, investigators with MVA have more powers than we do, because they can actually take your tags off your vehicle right away, write you the tickets, tow your car, they can do all that. So unfortunately, with their manpower issues the last couple of years, they haven't been able to do that. But we have worked out an agreement with them that they're going to kind of give us some education training to me and my officers, how we can handle it. So it really becomes more of a MVA issue with out-of-state plates, because
Well, I mean, it's
enforcement,
NBA right
yeah.
now because it's legislation NBA, but we have legislative rights here.
Yeah,
and
yes, we can
write
make some-
legislation within town, especially if it's mirroring something that the state already has.
Yeah.
So you guys can talk about that and work it out. I appreciate it,
Yeah.
so that we can actually fairly deal with that. I mean, I know for certain, I have a daughter who lives in DC because she's on a master's program grant.
Yeah.
And so she lives in DC, but her house is still my house. And she had to register with DC MVA, and she has to have a sticker that's on her vehicle for her to continue to have Maryland
Yeah.
tags.
Yeah.
So I know that the precedent, and that was the word I was looking for before, was precedent. The precedent was set with the trash cans. So a precedent has been set about how to do that. So I appreciate if y'all can bring us something back
Yeah,
in
we could do
September.
that, no problem.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so we'll move on to committee reports. And if there's anything that you guys know about this that can help the chief and Mr. Barr and what you've heard from residents, just feel free to contact them in the interim and let them know, so we can have a good conversation in September.
Yeah, and Mayor, just on another note, I have been able to work it out with them. On an undisclosed date in the fall, they're going to be sending 3 investigators out here. They'll be assigned to one each for 3 officers, so each investigator will have an officer. So they're going to come in our town, and they have a list already compiled of vehicles that are already in violation from that we might have forwarded them before in the past with out-of-state. How it works with out-of-state plates, I don't know, just real quick. We have an MVA ticket that we can fill out, but really, we're not supposed to issue them tickets. But what it does is when my officers fill it out, we forward it to MVA, and they actually supposed to send a letter within the 60 days to the vehicle owner, say, hey, your vehicle's here in Colmar Manor, and in the back of the ticket tells you got to register the guidelines about being a student, in the military, what you need to do to get a non-resident permit and all that. They do have that. So so they're going to come out and they're going to probably be a little bit better. They'll have a list. They got some pickup orders on some tags that they need picked up, and they're going to give us some education as well. So this will be a good opportunity. And I know this doesn't affect, it affects everybody. It does. We're not the only community dealing with this. But I am familiar that Baltimore City does have when I worked for Baltimore City, we used to have an ordinance on the books up there that parking enforcement would check your tags. So if your tags that were not registered within the city of Baltimore, they could write you an ordinance. And I hope that may be something we can look into.
That's
Maybe
right.
Mr. Barr with his knowledge, and then I can do
Yeah,
some
'cause
research.
that gets closer to where I
Yes,
wanna
and then
be
maybe
when you get
having
to the
something,
city.
our own ordinance that we can enforce.
Right.
To,
Exactly.
decide with that
Okay.
for us to make it a little bit easier.
Yes.
Chief?
Thank you.
Is it possible that one of these MVA investigators or someone through your contacts in the city of Baltimore in their traffic unit that deals with out-of-state plates?
Yeah.
Could they come to our September work session?
Out of city.
I could probably talk to them. Yeah, I could talk to them. This is the first time since I've been chief, because I have called them before, because this ain't the first time issue about out-of-state plates. But as officers, I'm kind of unfamiliar with some of the laws. I know us officers, we can write something, but it gets to another point where I can't, we're not that familiar.
Well,
with
that would be very helpful if somebody, particularly from Baltimore, because, our situation is, it's more narrow than out of state.
Yeah.
So Baltimore would be the closest because it's a
Well,
city.
either the city, because it's a municipality, and
Right.
it could assist us.
Right.
Or the
MVA investigator,
The MVA
Yeah, investigator.
Yeah.
investigator would be incredibly useful at a work session.
Yeah, I could do that. I could try to see if I can arrange that. So this is something new for me, that we finally able to be able to get them to come and actually want to educate us as well, what we can do to help them or assist in them trying to combat this issue in the town.
But if they have access to some legislation that already exists,
Yeah.
we can start from there.
Well, I could do that too,
We can
yes,
start
try
from
to
there,
find out
even
what other,
before.
because like I said, Baltimore City's the only one I'm not familiar with that did have an ordinance for that, that you had to be a resident of Baltimore, you can't get a ticket on your vehicle if your vehicle's not registered within the city, and that's something that we can possibly look at, find some, like I did with the parking permit issue. I'm sure I can get with MML, well, that's right, Jim, he's retired, but then one other gentleman that does it now, he has ordinances from various counties to say, because he did this for me last time, he did some of the homework. He pulled me some ordinances from all different jurisdictions on their parking, how they do a parking permit system. So I'm sure there's gotta be something there if they have something with out-of-state plates or non-residents, parking in their different jurisdiction.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, it may prove that there's sufficient laws on the books already, which our department has the authority to enforce. And that way, we might not need, it's a council determination.
I know,
Anything, but let me also add that the idea of checking out the city that a plate is registered to will help the revenues of the town considerably, because I would be on record as wagering that the majority of tags in the town of Colmar Manor
Don't live there.
are registered to the town of Brentwood.
Yeah, they are.
Brentwood is spending the town's money.
Well, I do know, I will say from Mr. Baden's, we've questioned this on Mr. Baden many times, and Mr. Baden has indicated that at Maryland Vehicles Administration, the zip code is not their go and get. They go by the street and the street number. And so in determining what our funds are, that's what it is. But what I will say to you is that I do believe as people move through the state of Maryland, they do not re-register for the city, for the town that they move to.
Change of address.
And so a change of address on their tags are probably not happening, and we are probably losing about 50% of our revenues in this area, and not just because of the Brentwood issue.
Something to focus on.
So it is. It is. I do think there's a revenue spot here.
And people probably are not even aware.
They're not.
Just like I'll change my address next time I wants to go to the DMV.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, so they're probably
If you
not
move
even
over to
aware.
Cottage, if you move to Cottage City, do you think about changing your tags? Probably not. Why would you? So, I think it's hugely, and not only that, we'll deal with some things that allows our parking issue to assist us in our parking issue. So Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I do think that, you know, we want to really make sure we get on this, because I do think there's a revenue missing. People are paying for it anyway, so we might as well get what belongs to Colmar Manor.
Us.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're going to go to the committee reports. The senior report, Mr. Muchler?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. With the seniors, on June the 17th, we went out to lunch at the Golden Corral. We had invited Kayla and Judy, but they couldn't make it, and Mrs. Blue went in their place, and Mr. Blue drove the van that day, so he also was there. And we had a special guest with us. Connie had been home and brought her father up. And her father was there, and he was the thing of attention to every one of the seniors that were there. I mean, they all fell in love with Mr. Johnny Walker, yes. Tomorrow is our regular meeting. We didn't have a meeting on the first of the month because Kayla called that morning. The recreation program was here, and she had a repast here. And she said, the only thing I can do is put you down in the gym, but it's hot down there, and we have to carry tables down. So she says, do you want to do that? And I said, no, just go ahead and cancel it. So we just canceled. But we will have our seniors tomorrow. Now, that's all the seniors. And talking about something that Chief Bayshore talked about, the VSU Day, that volunteers. We have been doing it for almost 2 years over Bunker Hill. It's one day a month, and normally it's a holiday, and they work 24 hours. So the 4th of July, we had about 10, 12 people there all day and all night. The next VSU Day is the 1st of August, and then I know Thanksgiving and Christmas is our other VSU Day, because the chief's budget is so bad that his overtime was eating him up. So that's why they started that. So we gladly fill in for him like that. So that's that. But that. Another thing, you know, just talking about tags, back when Mayor Garrett was mayor and I was working part-time here, every year they got from DMV a big binder about this thick, had every car registered in 20722 listed in there. And we had to go through it, and I did it, and checked the addresses and highlighted each one in Colmar Manor. When we finished, they went to Cottage City, and they had a different highlight color. They highlighted everything there, and then it went down to Brentwood and North Brentwood. And that's where they kept track of who was getting what money, instead of Brentwood getting everybody's money. But I don't know whether they still do that or not. But I know back when Garrett was mayor and I did work here, I did that thing every year, went through that binder.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Okay.
No, well, I've never even seen it since I was, and then, when I
It was a
in-
big binder in about
Yeah,
that
I'm
thick.
thinking.
All right,
But
that's
thank
it.
you. Thank you so much, Mr. Muchler. So does anybody here, you have Garden Club report?
I do.
Carrie's out.
Yes, Carrie's out today. So I will give the Garden Club report and the Green Team together. Please save the date, our annual fundraiser to pay for our soil and seeds and exchange seeds will take place September the 13th. We'll be selling our mums, rain or shine. They're 16-inch plants. This is a bargain for the price of $10. This is to support our community garden. Please come out and join us. The date is September the 13th. Also, our community garden will be out at National Night Out, which is August the 4th on Tuesday. Please come out and visit us. We'll have a table. We'll have seeds for the kids. We have grown green sunflower flowers. There'll be displays for the kids to learn about the growth that we do here in the town, our community garden. Also, the Garden Club and Green Team, we have large brown bags, and they're here at the town hall because we cannot put our yard waste in the plastic bags anymore. So we offer them here, 2 for $1. However, we know that you can purchase the bags at Lowe's and Home Depot, But we have them here just in case you run out or you may need one or two. You can come to the town hall, and they're 2 for $1, and they're the large brown bags. We have 8 composters left. So if anyone is interested, they're $20 for our residents, and I think we did a good job of selling them, and just want to reiterate that we have 8 left. Also, we got great news from our garden. If you haven't had a chance, please stop by 3806 Newton Street. We have tomatoes, ripes. We have a wonderful beehive to help pollinate our fruits and vegetables. Please stop by. You can sit. There's a picnic table. However, the garden bins are registered to people in the community, but we do have one that's the town, and I'm quite sure somebody is willing to share. Just let them know. But stop by our garden. On July the 11th, well, 11th's gone. July the 25th, August the 8th, August the 22nd, September the 5th, September the 19th, we have the pleasure of having Christian from Eco City Farm. He'll be attending our garden those particular days on Saturday mornings from 9 to 12. You can come out and learn about different things about your garden, farming. You don't necessarily have to be a part of our garden club. If you are interested, if you have any questions, Christian is our master gardener. He's there on those particular days. Thank you. Also, one last thing. The garden club uses garlic in our garden to help with the mosquitoes. And I've heard it and I've seen it a long time. We ordered something from online, but you can take a regular garlic, crush it, put it with water, put it in a spray bottle, and you spray your yard, and it'll last for 8 hours for the mosquitoes and bugs.
What
Tip
about
from
the
the
garlic
garden.
in a jar? Can you just pour some of that in the water?
I haven't tried that. I just know it's crush the garlic. And, Yep, apparently they don't like the garlic spray, and it doesn't hurt anybody.
I noticed this year my tomatoes in my garden in my yard is kind of slow growing, just starting. I thought maybe it was too much rain. And I was talking to Leslie and her husband about the garden club. They've been down, she was saying that theirs is kind of slow down there
Slow
too.
down.
But the
Yeah.
beehive, maybe that helps her vegetables produce
Quicker because of
than
the
mine.
party.
Because
Yeah.
I might check with Carrie about that next year.
Yeah, or Christian, he'll be there on the 25th because he can answer any questions
Right.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Oh,
knowledgeable.
and the green team, I'm not sure if we're having a meeting tomorrow. We normally have our regular meeting. I'm not sure if Curry will be back in town, so you can definitely call the town hall and check with Kayla. I would know by 11 o'clock if we're still having a meeting. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I also mentioned that Monday, July 20th, is going to be the 4-town meeting. That's when all 4 towns of Colmar Manor, Cottage City, Bladensburg, and Evanston come together and meet. And of course, everybody's welcome. That will be at Cottage City Town Hall, 3820 40th Avenue, Cottage City. Anybody wants to attend. Okay, is there, before I go on this, I also mentioned that the Field Day, we made a contribution for Field Day for William Ward, and they sent us a nice card.
That was nice.
And thank you to the town council and mayor. Thank you. Okay, do we have any citizen comments?
Mayor, I have one more thing.
Oh, okay.
We have a scholarship for the town of Colmar Manor. We'll be giving out a $2,000 scholarship, but it will be to like 4 individuals. Please check with the town hall. This is about kids that's going to college or their second year of college, but please check with the town hall. The deadline for the scholarships is August the 7th. And I think Tracy will be looking for judges for giving out the scholarship. But contact Kayla at the town hall. That's it.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other council comments? Any community comments? Okay, so does anybody have something good to say, something you're grateful for, something that's...
I do.
Go ahead, please.
I'm just thankful for my health and strength. I've been sick for about 2 or 3 days, and since I got back from Ocean City, I had a cold and then a sinus infection. Just, I don't know if it's the weather, the seawater, or what, but I'm just now getting over it and feeling good. And I was very, very sick at our last affair in Ocean City.
Yeah.
Yes, it was real sick. And so I'm getting back to normal, and I'm thankful for that.
So thankful to hear that. And I really want to say I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for everybody around here, and I love you all. I love this town. But as I said earlier, I haven't been feeling well over the last month or so, and I really was thinking of canceling this meeting, and I called Mayor Pro Temp Jackson. She was like, oh, no, you can do it, you know it, it's okay, we got people coming, go this. And I have to say, I feel so much better that I came. Thank you so much for just giving me that little push. I need that. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I just want to say happy birthday to Renee Watts. She's our recreation coordinator. Her birthday's in July. Also, happy birthday to my husband. His birthday was Monday. And to my neighbor, Mayor Hill.
All right. Got anything, Ms. Councilman Rebs?
Well, I started a new job yesterday,
Oh.
stress-free.
Oh,
I have 6
awesome.
months to decide if I want to take it or not.
Okay. Well, saying happy birthday, so I have to say happy birthday to my daughter, my youngest daughter, Delilah, July 21st, and my oldest, my son, Paul, July 20, I got him backwards. Paul's 21st and Delilah's 22nd. So happy birthday to them. And anybody else? I know Chief Gibson, your son graduated last month.
Yeah, he
and
graduated, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah. And he's going to
Anne Arundel Community
Anne Arundel Community
Yeah,
College.
Right now, he's in McDonald's right now, the manager for a training program.
Ooh.
Right now.
That's
He's,
excellent.
He's working for the last 2 years, his first job, but he's going to probably go in the spring for the college, but he's in a manager training program.
Awesome.
The next 6 months in McDonald's Corporation, so I'm pretty good with that being 18 years old.
Awesome. Really, that's great. Anybody else? Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to the senior club, and I had a good time going out with Connie and her daddy. It was a lot of fun, and all the seniors, and they had a good time too. And I just want to say thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming out. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Sure, I'll make that motion as stated.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Time is 8:44. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.